Hi, this is our next YouTube segment for the shoulders. We did one where we did a lot of stretching for the shoulders. We're not going to stretch as much today, but we'll get them a little warmed up. And then we're going to look at a few postures that strengthen them and the difference between those postures, what we do with our shoulders there. So I'm just going to roll the shoulders today, really simple. I once had a yoga teacher who's pretty well known, who's also a physical therapist, say if your shoulders are feeling like they're not quite right, they're a little bit wonky, roll them. And so sometimes when I'm doing arm balances and it doesn't quite work for me, this helps. Right? Okay, good. And then the other day we rolled our shoulders. Today I want to do something that's both your brain and stretching the shoulders. And so that instead of going arms in the same direction, let's start out with rolling your right arm back and thinking about whether you can take the left arm forward at the same time. It takes a little bit of brain and mind focus, which is kind of fun, right? And also good for us to work on our brain. Okay, good. And then I'm going to take that forward, which means that's going to come back. So it's mind, brain, body, breath through the nose, shoulders stretching. Good. All right, so now we've got our shoulders a little bit warmed up, and we're going to come down to the mat. What I want to show you today are the progression of back bends, starting with sphinx. And so we're going to come down onto our belly. We're going to have our chin or forehead on our mat, and this is the simplest one. Just come up onto your forearms. Do not press the head up and back any more than is comfortable. And if your lower back doesn't feel good here, this is a new stretch in your body for you and you're still tight, then come down into a little crocodile, or maybe this crocodile. But if you can, come up a little higher into sphinx. You breathe through the nose as we do in yoga. And we're going to inhale, come down. I'm going to show you the next one. Exhale, come down. Bringing your hands under your shoulders, keeping your elbows into the waist. Spread your fingers wide. And like we do in downward facing dog, pressing forward into the heels of the hands as you keep your shoulders down. So see, this is where we start to have people scrunching their shoulders. You want to keep the shoulders in the socket. These are poses to strengthen the shoulders. My shoulder's really working here. Now, inhale. As you exhale, come down. Now, another way to strengthen my shoulders where I don't feel like I'm making so much effort and perhaps less of strain, if there were any strain going on, is I hold on to the sides of my mat. And also, I'd like you to notice that my hips, as I inhale up, my hips are staying on the floor. A lot of people take their cobra, their bhujangasana, off the floor, and what they're doing is robbing themselves of their back bend. And also when they do that, sometimes their shoulders go up. So always here, shoulders are down. And whether you're doing full cobra, which I showed before, shoulders down, you might notice this one gets me a little higher. And that's good, right? So the back bend is good. But what we're focusing on today, breathe through the nose, is strengthening the shoulders, right? So keep those shoulders down. Inhale. And as you exhale, come down. High left. So the next one is for my dog. No, it's for you. So we're going to start out in plank position because this is upward facing dog. I think a lot of people get confused about up dog and it's done a lot. So you may do upward facing dog with your toes flat, which they do in Ashtanga yoga, or your toes curled, which I have experienced in Iyengar yoga and which I prefer for my feet, the way my feet are these days. So I'm going to start out in a plank position, and generally in that one, our toes are curled anyway. So what you want to do here is to keep your knees as straight as you can. And the work here is really in trying to push your chest and armpit forward and keeping your legs really straight. So you might notice I'm not back bending as much as I was when I was holding on with my fist. That's really opening up into a deeper back bend. Though this is a back bend, I want to push my chest forward to try to get that back bend. And again, for the shoulders, really important, the shoulders are down and back, not up by your ears. And just to add, since we're in this posture, you also don't want to drop your hips. So I'm going to flatten my toes now and try to push my hips forward a little more and keep my shoulders down. Good. Then I'm going to bring my knees to the floor and I'm going to come into child's pose to stretch my shoulders out. So bringing those hands out in front of us, inhale and exhale, sit back. Some people will not sit all the way back. Your body will let you know, but what we're going for here is getting the stretch in our shoulders. And the way to do that is to keep your elbows off the floor. As I rest my elbows down, my shoulders relax. That's nice, but it's not giving me the stretch I want after I've been engaging those muscles and strengthening them in that upward facing dog and cobra. And I'm going to show us one more now that's a really good one for stretching the shoulders. This is called Anahatasana, and Anahata is your heart chakra. It means unstruck sound, pure sound in here. And for people that are more open than me here, they would literally get their chest to the floor. Not so important where your chest goes, which is letting you know if you're more open than I. And again, if you're a baby boomer, super ager, we do tend to get a little tighter here. I think I did a YouTube in 2009 or something about menopausal shoulders and how that can happen, but also just the aging process. So both of those things, but we can keep moving, we can keep stretching and strengthening. So let's do it. Last one. We're going to keep the buttocks up in the air. You're going to reach the arms out. So this is not child's pose. This is Anahatasana. And I'm going to let my head drop and pull my tailbone and buttocks up and back. And I am getting such a good stretch. If I want to inch forward a little more, my chest will get a little closer to the floor. It's still not on the floor. It's a lot for me. And so then I'll get more of the stretch. You want to feel the stretch. This stretch is definitely not hurting me. It's just showing me where I have my tightness in my pectoral muscles, in my chest muscles, which are those pectorals, and in my shoulders. And then you're just going to gently walk your hands back. Good. And then we're going to sit for a moment before I turn this off because I want you to feel your shoulders. What is connected to your shoulders? Your neck, right? Your upper back, your chest. So let's just drop the head for a moment, roll it a little bit side to side before we finish. Just stretch it out, let the head come over to one shoulder and do a nice, press the other shoulder down. That helps get more of a stretch in those neck muscles. And then the other side. So this is something I didn't say, which is important about the neck muscles. When you scrunch your shoulders up in cobra, you see a lot of people doing this in cobra and up dog, you're just scrunching and tightening those neck muscles, which we have plenty of tension there to hold the head on the body, but we don't want that extra tension that can give us headaches and things like that. Okay, so that is our little shoulder strengthening segment. Thank you very much for tuning in. And again, if there's any part of your body or any condition you're dealing with, just let me know. Put it in the replies or reach out to me directly through my websites. And thank you very much. Have a great day.